Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Pen and paper are going to be needed today because this is a juicy one. We're going to be discussing how to go from freelancer to booked out design studio, right? I'm going to be running through the 5 key steps, 5 key actionable steps that we use personally and that have helped us scale to multi-6 figures year on year, to get yourself from struggling freelancer, burnt out, to thriving design studio. So I'd like you guys to grab pen and paper for this one. There's not heaps of writing, don't worry, but definitely worth taking some notes. So most designers hit a ceiling, right? You get into this freelancer feast or famine loop where you're constantly chasing new clients, you're struggling to price consistently, and overall you're just struggling to build momentum. A Studio Krista, we've been there. We started from the bottom, built this from nothing, and now we've broken that ceiling. We understand exactly how to do it. We've done it through repeatable systems and actions, and we're trying to help other designers do exactly the same. So we've broken it down into 5 simple steps for the sake of this video. So step 1, and this is definitely where I want you guys to grab pen and paper, is niche clarity. So the riches are in the niches is a very good saying for a reason. Understanding who you want to be working with and specializing in that particular industry is just going to pay tenfold. It's going to make you guys enjoy the process so much more, and it's going to finally help you attract the dream clients, right? So those that have their niche already dialed in, then amazing, but those that don't, or those that are still second guessing it, and I think this is for everyone because there's always more to be learned, then this is really for you, and make sure you pay attention. So I want us to start by reviewing your last 5 clients, right? Who were your last 5 clients? Write them down. Name of the company, industry they're in. Once you've written those down, we're going to think which one of those paid well, right? Which of those 5 paid the best? And just make a note next to it. Second, of those 5 clients, who respected the process the most? Who actually understood and enjoyed and also acknowledged the power of your services, whether that be brand and web, packaging, whatever it is, who actually valued it the most? Number 3, who did you enjoy working with the most? What designs, what industry and what client did you actually enjoy designing for? Lights you up, you really like it, you're passionate about those sorts of designs, you're passionate about those sorts of websites, whatever your service is, you're passionate about doing social media for them. So which one of those actually do you enjoy working with, industry-wise, especially? And then I want you to basically have a look at those and see if there's a pattern forming. So which ones are you enjoying the most? Now, if you don't see a pattern on the last 5, do it for the last 10. Get your last 10 clients and figure it out. If you're at the very early stages and you don't actually have enough of a portfolio to do that exercise, I want you to start thinking about what inspires you. What industries inspire you? What industries do you like the look of the design work of? And also, what industries do you have experience in? So for example, if you come from a different background or you've worked in another industry, do you have experience in that industry? If you understand it inside out, then it's going to be much easier for you to be able to help clients within that industry. So now that we've done this exercise and we have a clear understanding of the niche that we want to be working with, I want you to make a note of it, and we're going to move on to section 2. Section 2 is creating a signature offer. So most designers offer pretty much everything, right? So they've got on their bios, it says logos, branding, websites, packaging, flyers, social media. The reality is, when a client sees that on your profile, they're overwhelmed. There's just too much, and it almost comes across that you're just not an expert at one of those, and it just kills the quality basically. When you go in a restaurant, for example, and they do Italian, Mediterranean, Chinese, pizzas, chips, everything, it puts you off and you go, do you know what, this probably isn't actually going to be the best meal. Jack of all trades, master of none. And the same comes to your design business. A client that sees that you do everything automatically assumes that you're probably not that good at any of them. So it's really important to get clear on your offer and what that offer is. So a lot of you watching this and a lot of our audience is brand and web designers, for example. So let's get really clear on that offer. Let's not have any more that we offer logos and packaging and flyers and leaflets and social media management. Now we offer brand and website services. And I want us to basically put brand and website services for your niche. So that could be bars and restaurants, it could be accountancy firms, it could be interior designers, whatever it is. So now you've basically clarified your offer, and let's just focus on that. So third point is going to be brand and positioning. So now that we've got our niche, we've got our offer, we want to make sure our brand and positioning within the market is correct. So this means looking at your website and all your social media platforms and ensuring that those are super aligned. So we're going to relook at our bio and we're going to clarify, for example, on Instagram, who we are, what we offer, and to who. So now all of a sudden we don't do logos, flyers, branding, websites for coaches, bars and restaurants, photographers. Now we simply do brand and web design services for bars and restaurants, for example. And I want the same to be done across your website. So you're going to look at your website and go, is my messaging really clear for those bars and restaurants? Am I showcasing my portfolio specific to those bars and restaurants? If not, then that needs to be relooked at, right? We need to clear up our messaging. We need to clear up the service we're offering. So now we just don't want loads of services on there. We want to be really clear. Messaging, what services we provide, so that core offer, and a strong portfolio within that industry. If you don't have a portfolio yet, especially for the ones starting out, passion projects. Create 2 to 3 really good passion projects and feature those on your website and your socials, right? Super aligned with the clients you want to be working with. You're also going to be able to use these on sales calls as case studies as well. So really important that you don't just rush these passion projects, but actually, make them real. Showcase your skill set, practice, have something that's really high quality to be able to share with potential clients, because that's what's going to get you those first initial clients. So now we've got our brand and positioning, our website and social media platforms are all super aligned, focusing on that one core offer for that one niche. We want to move on to pricing. So everyone struggles with pricing, right? And pricing is also a bit of an uncomfortable one, especially for pitching on the call with a client. You kind of get nervous, you don't know if you're too expensive, you don't want to pitch too high, you don't want to pitch too low. When it comes to pricing, I always recommend market research. So every niche is different. For example, a singular photographer isn't going to have the same budget as a chain of bars and restaurants, right? So we need to really understand who our niche is and do some market research on there and price ourselves accordingly. Don't be scared to price, what you're worth. When it comes to pricing, we now need to shift our mindset and price based on the outcome, not the hours. We want to price based on the service and the benefits for that client, and no longer price based on hours. A plumber comes to your house for 1 hour and you don't pay him necessarily for that 1 hour. You pay him for the skill set and the benefit of what he's doing. He stopped that leak in your tap, which has a high value, because otherwise your house will be flooded, right? Fire on the analogies, by the way. So yeah, we want to basically price based on the service we provide and the value we provide for that client. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, yeah, but what does that look like? Well, it's going to be different for everyone. So if you're just starting out, you need to make sure that you're pricing at a price point that you're comfortable with, but at the same time, that is also within the value. Now, with ChatGPT and Google, between those two, you can definitely gauge an understanding for what pricing your niche is at. For example, if you offer a brand and website package for a small cafeteria in your local town, for example, you're not going to be charging $500, because let's face it, that's too cheap, guys. If you are charging that, you need to relook at this completely. And we do help a lot with pricing when it comes down to different niches. So if you do want me to go over that in more detail, let me know, drop a comment below. But we want to do our market research and then price based on value, okay? Too cheap gets you into too much competition with other people. We want to price ourselves accordingly to the service we provide. So make sure you do your market research on pricing, and then if you're still struggling, drop a comment. Happy to try and help you understand where you should be at. We want to price and pitch that price on a price level that is appropriate to the market value. Number 5, and this is the kind of closing of the 5 steps, is just systems, right? We need systems. When you send out a proposal, we want to make sure you've got a really strong proposal template that you can kind of rinse and repeat to different clients, because ultimately we don't want to be spending our time designing different proposals for each client. We want to have a really cool design that we've done once, really clear, concise, showing the service and value that you're going to provide, and then have that one template that we can send out to multiple clients. Same when it comes to the onboarding process. Once we onboard a client, we want a clear system that has the questionnaire, so we get that information that we need to design accordingly off them, and we just want to kind of rinse and repeat that. Same when it comes to the tech stack for taking payments. Depending on where you're based, you might need a different payment provider, but we want to make it ultimately as easy as possible for clients to make payment to us. And just in general, just make their life really easy. So that could look like, for example, Stripe. Maybe you use Wise invoices. When it comes to shared assets, maybe use a Google Drive folder. So making sure that your tech stack and your systems are all aligned, because ultimately that's going to support your growth. So yeah, guys, I hope that's helped a lot. Basically, having those 5 steps in place and actioning them from today is just going to absolutely scale your business off the get-go. So just as a recap, number 1, niche. Make sure you dial in your niche. Number 2, refine your offer. We don't want to offer everything. Refine the key service and offer you want to focus on within your business. Number 3, your brand and positioning. Make sure your messaging, case studies and services across all platforms are aligned to cater that service to that niche. Number 4, understand the pricing, market research, find out what the minimum to the maximum and the in-between of what most service providers are offering for that niche. So we sit somewhere accordingly. Again, the more confident and experience you get within that niche, the more your prices will go up. If you're starting out, well, maybe it's slightly lower, and then you can kind of build off that as you grow. And then number 5, systems that support growth. So having your systems in place for your onboarding, your proposals, your contracts, your way of taking payments, having that all aligned so that you're not having to waste time each time redoing it, basically. By having those 5 things in order, you will be able to basically take yourself from freelancer to actual design studio. If you'd like a little bit more info on a specific topic, drop a comment below. We're also launching an academy with live coaching calls by myself and the creative director within our agency, where we're going to be helping designers that are struggling to get past the 2K mark, 3K mark, actually hit 10K months consistently. Super hands-on, and it's just basically tried and tested methodology through that we've used in our studio on how to get there. Because ultimately, it shouldn't be feast or famine, guys. This is a beautiful industry to work in with some amazing clients, and you want to be delivering work that you're proud of to clients that you want to be working with. So yeah, if you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, etc. And we'll be doing some more videos on other key topics. Thank you for watching.